I had a mentor, a coach of mine, who told me there's only two things that kill a business, and that's bad clients and bad team. The best thing you could do for yourself or your business is figure out what is that perfect client. What do they look like? Why is this person further ahead than me? I may be smarter than them. I may be more talented than them. Why are they further ahead? It took me a while to figure out what this was. And it was only after meeting with a lot of clients, consulting with a lot more, having a ton of people on the podcast, and being able to meet a lot of influential people and successful people that I realized that this was actually a skill. It's pretty simple. My skill is I have the ability to ask. And I'll preface that is you look back and you wonder why. Let's reverse engineer it for a second. You look back, and I'm sure some of you may be thinking, and I know I have at times, why is this person further ahead than me? I may be smarter than them. I may be more talented than them. Why are they further ahead? It's for two reasons. One is they think and believe differently than you. So they have a different thinking and belief system than you, and we could talk about that at a different time. But the other reason is they're not afraid to ask. So I get asked all the time, how'd you get this person on your podcast? You should do a course on how to grow a podcast and get famous people on. It would be one module. I just say, hey, do you want to come on my podcast? They're like, it can't be that simple. I'm like, it is that simple. If they say no, cool, we follow up with them later on. We just keep asking. And that is my secret strength. If you think back, everything in life comes down to asking. You got to ask that boy or girl out on a date. You got to ask that person to marry you. You got to ask for the sale. You got to ask for that person to do business with you. Everything comes down to asking. And I think more people are so afraid of rejection. They're so afraid it lets them not even ask. So they won't even risk, because the thought of rejection, the risk that there may be a rejection there is so powerful enough to paralyze them from actually going out and making the ask. But everything happens on the other side of that question. So my greatest skill is maybe not that I don't have any shame, but it's I'll ask for the things I want. I don't expect them, but I'll ask. So how do I get this person to mentor or coach me? I ask them. How do I get meetings with Damon John? I asked them. How do I get Gary Vee twice on the podcast? I asked. And I'm willing to take the no. I'm willing to take the rejection. And so many people are just so afraid of that it lets them blind them when everything is there. And the thought of rejection is actually worse than the rejection. When you think about that, the idea of running through the process of rejection is actually worse than the rejection, because you'll move on from a rejection. Someone says no, you move on, right? You've asked the girl out, she said no, you've moved on. But you'll never move on from a what if situation. You'll never move on of what if I would have asked this question, or if I would have asked for this. And I think the question is not how fast can we build this, but how long can we stay in business? The biggest thing any business owner should be striving for is not quick acquisition or the fast, it's staying power. How long can they stay in the game? How long can they outlast everyone? How long can they keep doing business? Because I've seen so many brands pop up, they made a bit, and then they were gone. I'd much rather make, $1 million a year for 100 years than, $10 million for year one. It's not the game I'm playing. And I think many people need to play that game. And I look around at other agencies that I used to look up to, for example, some competition, if you want to call it that, is they played this game of quick transaction. Everything has to be transactional. Everything's quick. They brought on clients, and guess what? Those clients fell off. They'd onboard new clients, and it was just churn. The problem with that is they had no staying power, because the number one thing that will affect staying power is client selection. I had a mentor, a coach of mine, who told me there's only two things that kill a business, and that's bad clients and bad team. So assuming you have a great team, that you built a great team, client selection becomes the next thing. Your customer selection becomes the next part. So taking on wrong clients, and we've all been transactional. We've all been guilty of this. When we're starting off, we take on clients that may not be the right fit, but the best thing you could do for yourself or your business is figure out what is that perfect client. What do they look like? And going after those people and being really strict with not qualifying people based off their credit card, but qualifying them due to your ability to be able to help them. So staying power is where you want to go. That's the name of the game. And it's why I have been able to outlive a lot of my friends who started agencies, and they grew really big, really fast. And I was always envious to an extent of how fast they grew. And I was able to outlive them because I had the right clients. I built slowly, I built with foundations, I made sure I took on the right clients. Now, for sure, we've made mistakes with clients and we brought on bad clients at times. I mean, it happens, and you get better at it. You refine. Every bad client, you learn a little bit and you refine what you're looking for, and you start noticing red flags a lot earlier, and you start being a lot more comfortable saying no to things. So I think we need to learn to not be so transactional. I think we need to really understand that the point of the game is to stay. It's so underrated, is staying power. You want to be able to outlive everyone. You want to be able to outlast everyone. If you could do that, you will dominate your marketplace. You will have total control over your market space. So that's the game you should play. The question isn't how many clients can we acquire fast? How fast can we grow? The question is, how long can we stay at this?